So, two important factors about MIT's 2024 enrollment data, the first class post-affirmative action ban that showed the increase in Asian American enrollment, are that MIT does not have legacy and MIT did require standardized test scores. The other colleges who had their enrollment data highlighted either had legacy and or kept their COVID-era test optional policies or have made a decision to remain test optional, which is important because, as we know, so-called standardized tests are biased. So MIT was basically as close as you could get to the theoretical situation where a school's admissions policies are based solely on standardized test score and GPA. And previous research done on that showed that under those conditions, as a racial group, enrollment for Asian Americans would increase slightly, and enrollment for other students of the global majority would decrease slightly. Now remember, when talking about Asian Americans, it is imperative to disaggregate the data because not doing so is how you wind up at the model minority myth. Because what that research also showed is that increase in enrollment for Asian Americans as a racial group would not only result in a decrease in enrollment for other students of the global majority, but also a decrease in enrollment for underprivileged Asian Americans. It specifically showed that there would be a decrease in enrollment for Southeast Asian Americans, English language learners, and Asian Americans struggling with poverty. So I'm willing to bet that if we could see that disaggregated data from MIT regarding Asian American applicants and Asian American enrollment, we would see a decrease in enrollment for Asian Americans who previously benefited from affirmative action, on par with a decrease in enrollment that we saw for Black Americans. And it's very important to keep in mind that the MIT data does not show that one group is more or less qualified than the other or more or less capable than the other. The legal language surrounding affirmative action prior to the travesty of the 2023 Supreme Court case was that it was a constitutionally allowable distinction made on the basis of race to address the compelling government need to remedy historical racial discrimination. And the reason why its loss is so devastating is because it was cut short before that compelling government need was ever addressed. What the MIT data does show us is that students of the global majority in the United States, Black American students in particular, are still not being allowed to compete on an even playing field. Because an even playing field in education does not begin and end with how a college admissions officer treats applicants. It has to begin on day one with equity in the educational opportunities and resources that are made available to children in the United States on day one.